So I did my video of my top 10 favorite movies of 2023. You can check that out for yourself in the card up above and the link down in the description below for that video to check that out. Cause now is the fun part to go over my most anticipated movies of 2024. Cause every new year is fun with new and more movies to be excited about, to look forward to for the rest of the year. New ideas, new stories, new innovations in filmmaking, and all kinds of new things coming out of Hollywood and independent studios alike. More things to look forward to for us film buffs, new material and new movies and new things to be excited about in film. We'll see in the end how many of these movies make it onto my top 10 favorites of this year list. Maybe a few of these movies make it on, maybe all these movies are on my top 10 of the year. We'll see, lots to be excited for, lots to anticipate, so let's begin with...
You have it in you to make it epic.
Furiosa. And what an incredible title reveal. It's just so cool, so awesome, such an incredible trailer. I love everything about this. Just check this out, just watch this. Kind of a slow build up. Boom, there's the title. The characters kind of flatten out, the letters in the word of the title flatten out, and just such a pumping reveal with the score and with the title. They're just so much going on with this trailer, so much going on with this movie. Junkie XL with the score, George Miller's back. Trailer is incredible. I watched it like a dozen times. I just can't stop watching it, and I'm just so obsessed with just seeing the immersive and the amazing scope and scale and the vivid coloration, cinematography, and action stunts that are going on in this trailer. I was really happy to see it appear on the IMAX screen when I went to see Dune Part 2. More thoughts on that movie in another video. I'm excited to see this continuation of the Mad Max saga with the younger Furiosa that's going to be played awesomely by Anya Taylor-Joy. I think she's going to really rock this rollout, or she's going to rock Katansky this rollout. Okay, Chris Hemsworth is in this, of course Immortan Joe is in this, being a significant figure in the Mad Max and Furiosa storyline going on. George Miller just keeps building up his Mad Max post-apocalyptic world. I am thrilled that this movie is finally coming out, so I am so excited to see this when it does. Speaking of badass action, Monkey Man. Dev Patel's directorial debut and starring in it, Jordan Peele's producing it, and it's Indian John Wick, so it doesn't get much better or crazier than that. It takes a lot of the aesthetic, art direction, cinematography, and certainly choreography of hand-to-hand and gunfights choreography from the John Wick world and bringing all that into this world, and Dev Patel making, just an Indian version of John Wick. I love Patel's previous work in Lion and the Green Knight, so it's really cool to see him dive into a totally different genre, a totally new genre of action-packed fists and fighting and action-packed John Wickian type of craziness. We'll see if this franchises itself or turns out a sequel or two and continues to build up this crazy assassin or fighter story world, kind of like John Wick did. But this definitely looks like something that Dev Patel and certainly Jordan Peele are having a lot of fun with, so we'll see how much more from this that they're gonna build out, but I'm really excited to see this opening weekend. I'm a big fan of Matt Reeves' Apes trilogy, and I really like the original Apes movies from the 1960s onward, so I'm very interested in this continuation of the Apes story, continuing on from the somewhat wrapped up, more or less concluded Apes story that was concluded at the end of War for the Planet of the Apes, so now we're continuing with this next movie, with the apes being the dominant species on Earth and the apes being the dominant tribe on Earth, the humans being more of the sub-inferior tribe in this world compared to the more dominant tribe of the apes. So the trailer shows Caesar has some interest in one of the humans, which then spurs uncertainty and even conflict among Caesar, the apes, and one particular ape who he has a lot of conflict with. So some interest in one of the humans, which then adds conflict and that uncertainty among the apes tribe against the humans. Curious to see the dominant force that the apes have formed in the world, the inferior tribal communal that the humans now have in this world, and what kind of interest and insight Caesar has with the humans. Maybe he's gonna try to convince the ape tribe maybe we should include the humans, and maybe the humans are okay. We'll see what kind of tribal communal dispute conflict is going on in this movie. Deadpool 3. Because why not? I've been somewhat losing interest in investment in the MCU lately over the past year or so after a movie or so after Endgame came out, but Deadpool 3 will be a much bigger and better peak, as these Deadpool movies really can't go wrong and generally have been really great and have definitely been the big fan favorite of the MCU. And this time the TVA organization that was built up in the Loki seasons 1 and 2, a show that I really liked, needs to catch up on season 2. This sort of behind the scenes and behind the time dimension that oversees the main dimension and polices them and pulls them aside when they're making big decisions or having erratic behavior that's starting to affect the overall timeline too significantly. And now Deadpool was pulled aside into the TVA dimensions, and now we have all his quips conflicting with the very strong and serious, you cannot be messing with time, we have some things to talk to you about and some major corrections to make on you. So that conflict of personality is going to be very entertaining to say the least. And of course we have our big man and Deadpool's other buddy, Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, returning in this movie. And here we are again with third movies with Terrifier 3. And I actually enjoyed Terrifier Terrifier 2 more than I expected, even from hearing all the gore stuff in the movie. I just really like the crazy technical and special effects behind the scenes work that went on in the movie. And now we are Christmas themed with this sinister Art the Clown character who will cut up more people when more gore and horror gore is gonna go on. I really hope and think that Damien Leone will continue on his work, continue on these movies and this lore and his legacy, all for the fans to follow and love every movie along the way. A Quiet Place Day 1. I have really loved the Quiet Place movies that John Krasinski has very smartly and well developed and directed himself. This trailer also looks incredible, with the sort of seemingly normal busy life that's going on in the city, then aliens start to plummet into the earth in the comets, or individually plummeting down into earth, completely disrupting everything, completely wreaking havoc and attacking everything. Obviously, we the audience know about their extreme sound sensitivity from the 2 previous movies, but this is all brand new. This is all obviously day 1 to all these characters. Totally brand new. Aliens are brand new. Their sound sensitivities and their sound attacks, attacking all the sound making things are all over the world. Totally brand new to all these characters, so wreaking havoc. There'll be a lot of wreaking havoc in this movie as the aliens land for the first time. Then centering on these 2 characters, who one of them probably picks up on the sound sensitivity and what the aliens are actually going after, then protecting Lupita Nyong'o's character in this trailer. But then once our characters figure out the sound sensitivity in these aliens, what they can and cannot do, what things make the most sound, what to avoid, and how to navigate the world as quietly as possible. It'll be cool to see these characters navigate their way around these aliens, as well as navigate their way around this new life of being totally quiet, very minimal noise. So how do we live life day by day, trying to avoid these aliens, trying to avoid making any noise at all, and just surviving. It'll be really cool to watch everything unwrap and see these characters see that their world is different, their world is devastated, now they have to learn live things differently. Another horror film I'm actually looking forward to this year, Saw 11, because I actually rather enjoyed Saw 10, a pretty good introduction, initiation into the Saw franchise, which I'm actually much more curious to check out more of the films in that franchise. So because I liked Saw 10 so much and I was so impressed with the story and the character development, especially with John Kramer, with Tobin Bell's character in that, and based on what I've seen from the trailer so far, it looks like it's upping the ante on just about everything. The traps, the gore factor, the special effects factor, of cinematography and cinematic vision and visuals of everything going on in the movie. Everything looks super intense as it should in these movies. To see Jigsaw returning to form, and Jigsaw returning with maybe some new players, reuniting with some older players, the previous torture victims from the previous movie, maybe they're coming back in for some more revenge. Well, definitely the one lady character from the last Saw movie, from Saw 10, I'm sure is probably returning in this. I'm forgetting who survived in the last movie. Spoilers for the last movie. Spoilers for Saw 10 anyhow. So I'm looking forward to seeing where this plays in the timeline, what part of the story and what more development in the story this movie is going to do, and what we'll do from here if we continue doing sequels, so we'll see how it goes. Nosferatu, Robert Eggers' reincarnation of the classic horror gothic film from German Expressionism of 1922. I really like Robert Eggers' work. The Witch, The Lighthouse is one of my favorites. The Northman is a really interesting and decent movie. He really has the horror and thriller genres down, really locking down the unnerving, creepy, and scary tones of all his movies. And he definitely does the older century period piece production design in all of his movies. The Witch, The Lighthouse, The Northman, and definitely here in Nosferatu being a 1920s or older type of tale. The trailer here actually looks quite scary, very creepy, just seeing the shot of the hand shadow over the woman and Nosferatu just kind of peeking through the doorway, and the 2 wolves, the 2 dogs by his side is just super creepy. I get chills watching the trailer every time I see it, not just to be excited, but genuinely creepy factors going on here. He has really mastered the gothic look of everything and really honoring and recreating the gothic style and cinematography of the older movie. And this does make me want to rewatch the original 1922 movie and then going into Robert Eggers' masterful recreation. And finally, I'd be remiss if I didn't discuss the 2 first movies coming out from 2 pretty dominant YouTube creators, being Chris Stuckman coming out with his thriller mystery movie Shelby Oaks, and Mark Fishbach, aka Markiplier, coming out with his first movie, a horror movie called Iron Lung, an adaptation of the classic indie horror game of the same name. I've been following Chris Stuckman's filmmaking journey on YouTube, as over the months he's been talking about how he's been trying to get this passion project started. He's been trying to actually get his filmmaking gears going out, actually get his filmmaking career getting started, instead of just doing movie reviews all the time, which he does like to do, but actually going out and making a movie and making his first feature film. He discussed the idea that he had for the project and for the story, and the kind of mystery and thriller type of story that he wants to pursue, the financing and the fundraising that he's been really trying to tackle with getting getting attention from different studios, pitching his ideas and scripts to different studios, getting financial backing from the actual main executive studios, and getting extra GoFundMe help from his fans. And similarly, I've been following Markiplier's filmmaking journey on his YouTube and on his podcast Distractable, where he's been talking about his project quite a lot. For a while, Markiplier was being kind of his ominous self, was sort of talking about the project he was doing behind the scenes, or he's doing episodes of this or this, kind of missing from his usual content, then comes back and says, I'm tired, I've been filming this type of thing, traveling and filming all these kinds of things. And then reveals that he's making his first movie, that he's wanted to make his first movie for a while, especially after his big experiences from In Space and his heist with Markiplier, those choose your own adventure cinematic type of projects that he did. And now he is adapting the indie horror game that he and many other YouTube gamer creators have played, adapting that into a full-fleshed movie. That will be in theaters, he says, and I'm very excited to see that in the theater once it comes out, and you better see it once it comes out in the theater. Even if for some reason this isn't showing in my state, I have to go over a state over to see this movie, I am so going to see this thing. No trailers yet for Shelby Oaks, there's a movie poster, and there's probably some promotional material out there for it, but Markiplier likes to edit trailers, so he edited his own teaser trailer for his own movie, released that a few months back, and oh man, it looks pretty crazy and pretty great. I mean, Markiplier's character coming up from the blood lake that's in the game, the ominous voiceover that's also from the game, blood drooping down, very graphic, very detailed, and oozy and goopy and all that. Some clips of that inserted here, and you can check that trailer out here on YouTube. Just search Iron Lung teaser trailer. Have you not seen this teaser trailer? It's amazing. Unless maybe you don't follow Markiplier, in which case just watch the teaser trailer and maybe follow Markiplier after. But the teaser for Iron Lung looks amazing. All the details I've heard about the movie is amazing. He's been talking about a lot of visual effects and a lot of stunt work. Now, being about a game where the character is stuck inside of the small submarine, navigating inside of this big bloody lake, running into things, running into different creatures, and trying to get to different spots on this map within the game. Not sure what the visual effects or the stunt work entails. Maybe I'm sure Markiplier is doing much more and much bigger things with this movie, so much more to anticipate and look forward to. What things is Mark doing that isn't necessarily in the game? How much is he expanding it? So many things to look forward to and see how this project turns out. And those are the movies I'm looking forward to this year in 2024. Lots to look forward to. Of course, many more movies and more announcements will come out, more trailers will come out that I will decide, oh, I really want to see that later this year, or that big blockbuster coming out this summer. That always happens. More movies to look forward to and more to be announced. So what do you think of the movies that I talked about, and what other movies are you looking forward to this year? And what kinds of movies have you seen so far? What have you really liked, and what have you maybe not so liked? Let me know down in the comments below. So much to look forward to this year, and really every year brings its A game, despite some of the really not so great movies and some that maybe kind of question the cinematic experience or question filmmaking in the state of Hollywood and studios in general. But so many great movies coming out this year. A lot of great A game movies come out each year, so really focus on the great movies and don't let the not so great movies and not so great news that discourage you. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you like movie content, as I have more video ideas coming up soon. Another movie review, some fun stuff coming up, and some react videos that I have in mind, so really stay tuned. Watch great movies, go make something great, and I'll see you next time.